Slay or Die here. Welcome to my channel once again. I hope everyone had a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that jazz. Today I want to talk about a couple of things. One thing I want to talk about is why I started my channel, and another thing is I want to talk about give you guys a story. I've been told I'm a really good storyteller. And you guys have to excuse my little puppy. She's whining because I guess she wants to be part of the video. So she knows she's not allowed in the bedroom. So you might hear her on and off. So excuse the puppy drama. So what I want to talk about was my reason for starting a channel. Okay, I've went through cosmetology school a few years ago, and I just realized that cosmetology in the capacity that I was going to do it as far as doing hair and everything, that wasn't for me. My interest was more into makeup and cosmetics and maybe possibly working for the FDA and formulations and everything. So that's what I wanted to do, but I also was thinking about maybe being a makeup artist at Macy's or somewhere like that. And so whenever I would go try out to interview, I would get a good interview, and they would either want to put me with a brand like, and I'm not knocking Clinique, but it's not a brand that I'm used to using or see a lot of people with my skin tone use. So I wanted to work like with Urban Decay, Lancome, someone like that. And they always try to put me with Clinique or some other brands, or I wouldn't get a call back, or they'd ask me about I have a degree, a degree. I'm working on my master's degree, and they were like, oh, well, you're working on this degree, blah, blah, blah. And so they didn't want to hire me, and it's like, I just kind of got tired of it. I think people should, in life, you only have one life, so you shouldn't focus on one thing. There should be like, you should have like a job that expresses your artistic side, and makeup is how I express myself artistically. Am I the best at it? No, but I enjoy doing it. And so I got frustrated, so I went back to healthcare, and which I love. I love science, and I love reading about new discoveries as far as scientific discoveries and things like that. And this dog is all kinds of misbehaving when the camera's on. You guys know what I'm talking about. When your kids know that you're on the phone or something, and they do stuff when you're on the phone. So this is Louise here. She knows that she's not allowed in here, and she knows she's definitely not allowed on the bed, but she knows the camera's on, so she's like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. So anyways, that's why I wanted to start a channel, give my outlet as express an artistic outlet as far as cosmetics and beauty and things like that. Right now I'm wearing a wig from Uniwigs. I believe it's called the Star Wig. And I'll give a review on that in a later video. And I absolutely love their synthetic wigs. They're really nice. And I know the gray fad is fading, but me, I'm the type of person that will hold on to a fad like at the last minute. Like it's dying, people are beating it with a club, they're dragging it out, in the street, shooting it. Me, I will pick up that fad and just wear it. That's how I am. And so anyways, but I'll give a later review on this wig. And I also wanted to talk about, later on in some other videos, I wanted to show you the rebirth of the subculture palette. I watched a couple of videos on how to do subculture, and now I understand it, where at first it was like something's wrong with it. Like many YouTubers saw there was something wrong with it, but or believed it was too powdery or whatever. But I watched a couple of videos. It's like, wow, I really get it. And I also had to figure out a new way to base my eyes because I was just using the Urban Decay eye primer, and it's not showing up on me, and it's frustrating. So I had to figure out how to use concealer and powder over that, and then put my eyeshadow on it. It looks a lot better. And so I'll do a video on that. What else? What are your dreams for 2018? I'm so excited about 2018. 2017 was a challenging year for the whole country, and I just know we're just ready to see 2018 just ring in, just start this year afresh. This has been a tough year for everybody, so it's exciting to see what else is new. Okay, so now on to my story. Sorry, I'm seeing what Louise is doing over in the corner. I get paranoid because sometimes I go in the corner and little dogs like to leave surprises, Not the kind of surprises that we like, but the kind that they would like. So, anyways, a few years back, I got called up to active duty, and I was in prior service. I was in the military for over a decade, and I was in the middle of moving, trying to start a new life for me and my children. Things weren't going so well with my husband at the time, but the deployment, we kind of decided to come back together. Well, the deployment was like, okay, we have to find a place in 2 weeks. So we found this place. He had to go find the place while I had to deploy. So I come back from deployment, and he had found a mobile home, and that's putting it mildly. And I'm not knocking people it's what God had for us at the time, okay? I'm not knocking that type of place, that's where you want to live, or that's what you have at the time, so be it. But anyways, this particular mobile home wasn't in the greatest condition. So my husband had to fix it up. He painted it. He did all kinds of improvements on it, things of that nature. And I hated it with my bougie butt. I did not like it there. I did not like the neighborhood. The neighbors weren't nice to me. It just wasn't a place where I wanted to live because it was rural. It was in a neighborhood where people weren't very accepting of people of my color. That's the best way I can describe it. So anyways, we go to move, and the landlord, we asked for a deposit back, and the landlord's like, no. And I'm like, why not? And my husband, he's the type that handled that type of business, that type of thing. And they're like, why not? Well, they're like, you trashed the place, and we're not going to give you your deposit back. The deposit was $300. I don't care if it was 3 cents. It was our money. And, and then to say that we trashed something that we improved, it's like, you got some kind of nerve, And so anyways, my husband's like, just forget it, don't worry about it. We got plenty of money to move with, And I'm like, no, they're not going to trash our reputation by saying we're sloppy tenants. And number two, they're not going to benefit from us improving the place and then lie about it by saying we trashed it. It's like, that place was basically a tin can, y'all. When the wind would blow, and I'm talking about, we lived in upstate New York. When the wind would blow, it was like, oh my God, it was just, ooh. And we put plastic over the windows, and it didn't do nothing. We still froze. But you know what? We made it through. And just thinking of what we had to go through living there, and then for them to say that we didn't do X, Y, and Z. You know, that's some kind of nerve. So anyways, I told my husband, I'm like, I'm not going to sit there. They've taken deposits from people all the time. I'm not going to stand there and let them take our deposit. And I'm the type, too, that's like, revolution, you know. My dad says I should have been a lawyer, okay? Because I will fight. If I think I'm right, I will fight tooth and nail, you know, to prove my point or to get you to see my side or whatever. So anyways, I said, you know what? I talked to them and they're like, yeah, you guys left the place trash, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, you guys, when you guys sold the place to a new person, first of all, you never even inspected the place, so how do you know what was trashed or not trashed? And my husband has all these lists of improvements he did to the place. And they're like, well, we're just trying to give your money back. So I was like, okay. So I get on the internet, you know, get on Google, and I find the Inspector General of the state that we were living in, and looked up landlord-tenant laws regarding deposits. And it's like they can't just keep your deposit, you know, just willy-nilly, you know. And so I write the Attorney General, and the Attorney General says you need to write them a letter stating you want your deposit back and send them proof. Send the Attorney General proof that that's what we sent, okay? That I sent the landlord a letter. So I do everything the Attorney General says, and then they write back and said, okay, we're going to contact your landlord. So the Attorney General contacted the landlord, and the landlord was like, it must have been a misunderstanding. You have to wait a little bit to get your deposit back. It's in a special account and blah, blah, blah. We weren't trying to cheat you out of your deposit. Really? Anyways, they gave us our money back. You know what? We were probably the first people to get our money back. Hopefully not the last. So guys, this is a lesson for you guys. If you think a merchant or landlord is trying to cheat you, first of all, make sure you have all your ducks in a row, okay? All your documentation. Make sure that you have nothing that they can find fault for you for. You leave the place clean. Whatever you need to do. And if you think someone's trying to cheat you, a merchant, a landlord, or whatever, write your Attorney General of the state. And they work for you, so they will write you back and tell you, hey, you know, this is what your rights are as a consumer. Don't let anyone just trash your name or say that you're a cheater or whatever they try to do. So that was my story on the landlord, and I wish you guys a happy new year. I might do 2 more videos before then. I want to do, like I said, a video on this wig here and a video on subculture palette, the rebirth of subculture, and that's about it. Thanks for watching my channel. This is Slay or Die. Just subscribe below, and I'll love you forever.